So today's video is a quick review and look inside of this book, The Road to Calvary, Daily Meditations for Lent and Easter by St. Alphonsus Liguori. And I was so excited when I saw this book just came out. So when I saw this in a tan email, I knew right away that I wanted to order it. And I saw it at my local Catholic bookstore. And so I got it and I started right away so that I could do a review for you and share my thoughts. Because in the weeks leading up to this, I was reading a few chapters here and there from some other books by St. Alphonsus called Attaining Salvation and How to Converse with God. And those chapters, even though they were probably a maximum of like 4 pages, were just so thought-provoking and inspiring. So I thought that this would be a great choice for Lent, for a busy mom, or anybody, but I just thought a great choice for me right now. And so I wanted to just give you a quick look inside. So here is the table of contents. And so the meditations begin on Ash Wednesday, and they'll also go even through Easter. And so here, for example, is meditation 1, and this is for Ash Wednesday. And I already started them just because I wanted to dive in so I could give a review, and then I'll go back and start them again once Lent starts. And so here for Ash Wednesday, there were some really amazing parts that I enjoyed very much. Like for example, this part here about Brother Bernard, that he wasn't able to read, and not being able to read, his brother religious wanted to teach him, but upon which he went to consult his crucifix. But Jesus answered him from the cross, "What is reading? What are books? Behold, I am the book wherein you may continually read the love I have borne you." O great subject, to be considered during our whole life and during all eternity, a God dead for the love of us, a God dead for the love of us. Oh, wonderful subject. And then I really liked also this part. St. Thomas Aquinas was one day paying a visit to St. Bonaventure and asked him from what book he had drawn all the beautiful lessons he had written. St. Bonaventure showed him the image of the crucified, which was completely blackened by all the kisses that he had given it, and said, "This is my book, whence I receive everything that I write, and it has taught me whatever little I know." And then I'll briefly share another part I really liked from day 2. It starts off, we read in history of a proof of love so prodigious that it will be the admiration of all ages. So there was once a king, lord of many kingdoms, who had only one son, so beautiful, so holy, so amiable, that he was the delight of his father, who loved him so much as himself. This young prince had a great affection for one of his slaves, so much so that the slave, having committed a crime for which he had been condemned to death, the prince offered himself to die for the slave. The father, being jealous of justice, was satisfied to condemn his beloved son to death in order that the slave might remain free from the punishment that he deserved. And thus the son died a malefactor's death, and the slave was freed from punishment. So after reading this whole meditation, I had to read that part again just because I found it so impactful. It really moved me just thinking about, that prince is our Lord Jesus Christ, and that slave is me, is all of us, that he took each and every one of our places for love of us. And this fact, the like of which has never happened in this world and never will happen, is related in the Gospels, where we read that the Son of God, the Lord of the universe, seeing that man was condemned to eternal death in punishment of his sins, chose to take upon himself human flesh and thus pay by his death the penalty due to man. He was offered because it was his own will. So those are just 2 examples from these meditations, but all of them have been really good. And you see what I mean, that they're just like 3 pages at the maximum. So very brief, but very, very profound. So here are the Easter meditations. And so like the joys of heaven. And I'm going to skip now to the appendix. There's just like a few extras. And there's this nice ribbon inside, which I really like. Because bookmarks in my household, sometimes they just get thrown or taken out. So there's a couple of prayers. So the first prayer in the appendix is prayer to Jesus crucified. And the next one is prayer to Jesus by the merit of each particular pain which he suffered in his passion. And the last thing I want to show you is the clock of the Passion, and it starts on Thursday evening, so from 5 to 7, the Last Supper, and Jesus washes the feet of the apostles, and agony in the garden, the sweating of blood, and it goes all the way through basically hour by hour until our Lord is buried. And so, yeah, that's my quick review of this book. And I think it's definitely a great choice for Lenten reading. I also made a blog post listing a few more choices just to give you some ideas of what would be a good fit for you this Lent if you're looking for either a book or a devotional for Lenten reading. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless you.